I did. Not bad. Well, I'm not exactly God, you know. Miriam is the CEO of Illumina, one of Israel's leading WordPress development companies. She says if you build it, they do not come. She is going to tell us how we build it and have them come. Right? It's just going to get more extreme as we go, folks.
Hi. So, hi. My presentation for today, how I pitched it was that I'm going to talk about how social media marketers need to start treating their social media marketing activity like SEO and take some lessons from the SEO playbook. Share, just plug your ears. It's okay. Therapy after. Anyways, and I was going to give you some tips and ideas about how you can be more aggressive and how you shouldn't be afraid to be more aggressive, and how things like, let's say, auto direct messages, auto DMs on Twitter are not evil, and things like that. But then Google launched SPEW, or as they like to call it, Search Plus Your World, and I got upset. I mean, I guess it's been building up because lately Google hasn't been acting so nice. Now, first of all, I apologize to any Google people who are in the room. Some of my best friends work at Google, but things have been building up. Particularly, what we can remember the easiest is one of the latest developments where they took away our ability to see keywords that people use to search for our sites and said, oh, we'll only be 10%, and then it was more than 10% in many cases. And it's growing, and as more and more people have Google accounts and are logged in while they search, we will see less and less keywords. And then they launched SPEW. And why am I upset? Well, basically, let's just talk about where this came from. So Larry Page became CEO not that long ago, and one of his big commandments was, we must become social, right? And he tied employee bonuses to becoming social, and that became one of their main goals. And they raced to release Google+. I think one of the reasons for that is that we've seen, or it's become clear that depending on algorithm for search rankings, on machine algorithms, isn't enough. And even with the Google Panda update, they used people who sat around and ranked sites. You know, they needed that human input. So Google needs that social input to help them provide better quality rankings, and the search engine was suffering for a while from content farm, filling up the search results, which is very annoying to users, and users are getting annoyed. And users are turning more and more to their community to find out what is interesting, what they should read, and to get recommendations for things. So Google understood that they need to get into social to improve their search results. I think another reason is that the statistics show that users, you and I, we spend ridiculous amounts of time on Facebook. Ridiculous. Like hours. You know, when we're happy if someone spends a minute on our website, we're spending hours on Facebook every day, like crazy amounts of time. And Google has all these properties, and they want us to be there. They want us to be doing stuff on it because that helps them show us ads and helps get us to click on them. And if we're hanging out on Facebook and then we're not clicking on their ads, we're clicking on Facebook ads, which is his thing. So that's, I think, some of the reasons that they want to get into Google, into social. So +1 was launched. But Google already had introduced a type of social search. If any of us remember, they kept talking about it. We might not have seen it so well, but in August 2010, SEO Mods did a study that showed that tweets had an impact on how quickly something was indexed, how quickly content was indexed, and even on where it ranked, and how quickly it ranked. And it could, get to the first spot if something was tweeted and retweeted even up like 3 or more times. Google itself spoke about their social search before before SPEW was launched, and they said, first social search results will now be mixed throughout your results based on their relevance. You'll start seeing more from people like coworkers and friends. And then they released, and then they said, oh yeah, second, we've made social search more comprehensive by adding notes for links people have shared on Twitter. So they specifically mentioned Twitter. And they say in the past we concentrated on Google, but now if someone you're connected to has publicly shared a link, we may show that link in your results. So they're talking about the other social networks. And then they released SPEW, and they talk about in a very diplomatic way, this is very marketing speak, they say, we will show you things that are from your community and from people that you care about. But if you read what they're saying only from stuff that's on Google+. That's what they're saying, only. So why is that a problem? Because Search Plus Your World has become, as this guy on TechCrunch said, Search Plus Your World is just about Google+, not your world, not my world. What's happening is relevance is being taken out of the equation. Google Plus results are not always the most relevant, right? People have been on Facebook for years and on Twitter for years, thousands of updates, thousands of friends, thousands of followers, and in many cases, Google will now show us Google Plus results before Twitter and Facebook, and I'll show you an example. Danny Sullivan on Search Engine Land, he wrote about the Katy Perry results. First of all, Britney Spears, if you search for her, I didn't think I should show the screenshots because we're here in Jerusalem and people are eating mahadran meals, so it was quite the audience, but you just can't search for her without having pictures that are just not appropriate for you to so, like, if you search for Britney Spears, she's got this huge fan base on Facebook, and Google Plus is appearing. And Katy Perry isn't even on Google Plus, and even though she has 40 million followers on Facebook, poor girl, not appearing. It's like she doesn't exist. So Google says, oh, but poor us, we don't have access to your social information. Twitter cut us off. Okay, so first of all, see the above, which is when they kept talking about how they could get social results into search results. And I want to show you something that I just discovered, and maybe some of you know about this, but I didn't. So if you go to the Google dashboard, has anyone visited their Google dashboard? Okay, it's quite a lot. I visited once years ago, and I decided to look at it again. So there's an area there called Social Connections and Content. And these are mine. So direct connections from Google Chat and Contacts. I have 148 connections with content. What I think that means is I have 148 Google contacts, but I have like way more than that, who are actually on Google+. Then direct connections from links listed on Google profiles, 324 connections. The secondary connections is a very interesting piece of information, or a lot of information that Google has about all of us, which shows, I mean, in my opinion, if they can get that, why can't they get Facebook and Twitter or other things? So let's take a look. These are my secondary connections. What it does, at least from what I can understand, is it takes my connections and it looks at their connections and connects me to their connections. So, pardon?
Social web.
It's a social web. So Google is trying to present content to me that's not just about my direct connections, but about my connections. Now, these connections are being discerned not through Google+, but through Twitter and Facebook and Quora and all the networks that people have put on their Google Plus profiles, and in various other ways. Google tries to guess who you are and if an account is connected to you. So basically, it seems that Google has access to that information. But they've created a situation where we have to be on Google+. About a week ago or 2 weeks ago, someone said, sent me an email and said, Miriam, do I really have to be on Google+? So I said, look, open up your page so it appears in results, and maybe update a little bit and have your profile. But I wouldn't worry that much because there's not that much activity. And yes, I know that there's statistics saying, oh, numbers are growing. But first of all, people might just be joining because it appears in their Gmail account, and just because they joined doesn't mean they're doing anything there. And Facebook is definitely more active. And then this was launched, so now we have to be there because it's what's appearing in search results, and it's almost, in many cases, the only thing that's appearing in search results. So we're being forced to be there. So I did a test search for Danny Ayalon, who's the Deputy Foreign Minister of Israel. He's very active on the web, all over the place. So I tried to use him as an example, and he dresses modestly. So this is a search for him when I'm logged out. I'm not in my Google anything. Okay, so you see Wikipedia, you see his site, and a YouTube video, fine, and then some news about him, Twitter, and so on. Then I logged in. His Google profile, his Google Plus account, becomes the third result. After Wikipedia, which is almost always #1, right, high authority, after his own site, before Facebook and Twitter, where he's been for way longer. Look at these stats. On Facebook, he's got 24,000 fans. Twitter, he's got 16,000 followers. And on Google Plus, only 1,000 and something people have him in circles. So why is that appearing in the third place? because it's Google, not because of relevance, not because it's the best result for me to see, but because Google is making us be there and wants us to be in their network. So, with that news, we in this room, because we're all like, ooh, new web shiny toy people, you know, we'll join anything even when it's in beta. So, I don't know, I don't know if you've heard this syndrome. Ooh, shiny web toy, that's me. Like, oh, I'll sign up for anything. So, we're going to try to be there, right? Because we know we have to be there. But the question is, will this be able to sustain itself? Like, if you think of your family and friends, or on Facebook, if there's nothing drawing them to Google+, then they're not going to join. We're all going to be there and be like, you really should be there, clients and whatever, but like people aren't going to be social there. So what I think is Google really should have created and continued to create and develop an environment that was so appealing that we all want to join and we want to be active there rather than force us all in there, and we'll see where it goes. But since that's the situation, I'm not just going to leave you with that. I'm going to give you some tips on how to use Google+. This is Google, this is where we are with Google, by the way. Since we're here, I'll tell you how to deal with it. Just a few tips on how to use Google+.
Will the representative from Google please stand up?
Oh, by the way, I just want to say that I've always been a big Google fangirl. I love Google. It's because of Google that we have a job. And Google sent me free things in the mail. I'm totally shallow. Like, you can buy me if you send me a free wireless mouse in the mail. I'm yours for life.
I got a refrigerator once.
Oh, I know someone else who got the refrigerator, and I know him, so that makes me love Google too, just because I know a guy with a Google refrigerator. But you have to be careful still. Like, all the free stuff in the world, you know, it's not always going to do what you want to do. Having said all that, here are some tools that you can use to use Google Plus better. So here's a search engine for find people on Plus. It's actually quite useful. You put in keywords or people, and if you put in keywords, it will give you results of people and profiles surrounding that keyword. And they give it this kind of plus clout. It's not the same clout as with the K, that annoying service that ranks people. It's another clout. Sorry. I'm like a reverend. Okay. Anyways, it's a different kind of clout, and so you can search there for stuff. So I searched for WordPress. I had to do WordPress minus WordPress.com because then all this annoying stuff shows up. So you might have to use some search parameters, but you can get good results and find some good people to add to your circles and build your community that way. Google has this thing called Ripples, which I'm sure lots of you have seen, which gives you like a visualization of how your content is doing there and how it's spreading. So this is an example. This will be online also, and it's a link to this particular post and how it spread, and you can go and see who shared it, and big circles mean there's more sharing activity there, so that's kind of cool. You need to connect your site to Google+. This is kind of like what you have to do with Facebook as well. You've got to add some code to your header. So there's a few ways you can do it. You can add this head link, googleplus.com/your number. You can also, if you don't want to get into the head of your site, it's not your kind of thing, like the head tags, then you just have any link from your site. But you know, there's like rel equals no follow, so there's rel equals publisher, and you put that in the link, and that tells Google, this is my page, this is me, whatever. And of course, they want you to put a badge on your site, and they have a very handy configuration tool, which you can kind of see here, where you enter in your name of your site, your page. See, we have one fan. We're really active there. No, hopefully we'll get better. And you can have different sizes, like very small or bigger, and people can actually +1 your page or add you to a circle right from there. You have to add code to your head, and then you have to put this wherever you want that box to appear. Use photos in a creative way. I don't know if we have internet here. Let's see, because this is such a cool page. How many of you have seen this? You have to see what they did. You know, it's kind of like Facebook where you've got pictures across the top, except for, no, fine. You have to go find the Red Bull page after. What they did, what Google did that Facebook doesn't allow is animated GIFs. So people have done some really interesting things. And here, this, you can see this like faded motorcycle guy. They're all different pictures, but they move together. So this guy like flips with his bike. It's the coolest thing. Wow. Just that is worth it to be on Google Plus for. You can save searches. So like there's a lot of things you can follow on Google Plus. You can follow like circles, what's hot on Google, and you can also do a search and save it on the side. Then you can always like be updated on what people are saying about your area of interest. And finally, figure out a way to add value on Google Plus. If I look at Danny Ayalon's Google Plus page and his Facebook page, he's posting the exact same things. That's what I think we'll end up doing. I would love to know how you can add value and do other stuff there, but to me it's almost the same. So if anyone finds that answer, let me know. This is a little conversation that I had with some people about that. Thanks.
But I was wondering, Miriam, what do you really think about Google Plus? Wow. Okay, now we're going to really start to degenerate into me speaking at the end. Okay, next.